gorgeous. Rise of the Tomb Raider, absolute best story I've ever seen in any Tomb Raider game ever. And I just feel like it was a lot more in-depth. It had the whole like Lara actually chasing after an artifact element that I really do like about the classic stories, and even the Legend and Anniversary and Underworld stories as well. So I just feel like a Tomb Raider game needs that. You know, you have to have Lara chasing an artifact, something with mystical powers, something that can do something amazing. There is so much exploration. I beat the game and I still have so much I have to do. I'm gonna 100% this game, and it's gonna take a lot of exploration because there's so much you can do. There's huge open world areas. They're absolutely gorgeous. You still do feel some classic Lara in there, but she's still, I don't know, she's just more of a person altogether. And I feel like this is the best characterization we've had of Lara ever. And I can say that confidently, and I never thought that I would, but this version of Lara is the most well-rounded personality that we've ever seen in any Tomb Raider game in the history of time. So that has me completely blown away. I love to see her, I love to see that she's happy sometimes, she's a little silly sometimes, she's awkward sometimes, you know, because she's an introvert. So she has those moments where she's just kind of awkward, like socially awkward. She doesn't like crowds, for example. But one thing with the story is that it really puts her through a lot, and she goes through a lot. And so you see such a wide range of emotions. So you see that she's like obsessed and fascinated and then like into what she's searching for, and just like her studies and her father's studies and archaeology and all that stuff, and she's like really into it. They just dropped pictures showcasing the new statue that's representing Lara. It looks like some sort of unified version. As you know, we've had like classic Lara, we've had reboot Lara, and they're vastly different. And I have a lot of issues with that. I have a lot of issues with them taking away Lara's curves, and with taking away her confidence and her femininity and all the things that made her so wonderful. And they you know, they progressively did that worse. Back then, there was some big time puritanical guidelines that were applied to women and things like that. People had issue with this. People had big issue with this. And she was very rebellious in the fact that, hey, she existed this way. And she was a very powerful woman. The fact that they had to make her more masculine looking, I just cannot wrap my head around this. When we look back at her original design, it's blatantly apparent that she was created to be quite the power fantasy. People either wanted to be her or be with her, but both desires were impossible because Lara Croft is quite simply on an unattainable level, which was part of the appeal. Not only that, but the exaggerated proportions made it purportedly clear, with the old school graphical limitations at the time, that the character on screen was undeniably female. As we know, there's been a lot of controversy about Lara Croft's sexy figure and fitted outfits. However, such complaints were typically spouted from people who don't play video games anyway, and for some reason find an attractive lump of pixels to be threatening. What we've seen from the American studio, Crystal Dynamics, after inheriting the franchise and rebooting it, is the antithesis of what Lara Croft was created to be. They made it their mission to turn Lara from an unattainable power fantasy to a girl next door. And I mean, yeah, is she cute? Of course. But progressively downsizing her curves and lowering her stature, as well as animating her with perpetually frightened and sad expressions, completely eliminated the intimidation factor that Lara originally possessed.